Hello, class. As we end our lesson on Christopher Marlowe, I want to take a minute to transition us to our next lesson and our next work, and that is this guy. This is the author. That is William Shakespeare, if you didn't know. Probably the most famous author in English, if not one of the most famous authors throughout the world. Shakespeare was writing in the late Renaissance, right? That is our current it's our current module that we're on. It's our current time frame. And he was writing in the late Renaissance, and he was writing in England, but he was also writing at a time when the Renaissance in England was peaking. So he's definitely considered one of the quintessential writers of the English Renaissance. My question to you as we start looking at Shakespeare and looking at the work of Othello is, why do we continue to read this? What is the importance that we can gather from reading this? Early on in my English career, as I was studying as a student, I was recommended to read this book. It's about 20 years old now, probably about the time I read it. It's How to Read Literature Like a Professor. And one of the lasting takeaways that I took from that book is that most of the stories, especially in the English language, can be likened to a story from the Bible, and also or likened to a story or a play written by William Shakespeare. So it endures. His ideas endure. His works endure. Here's a modern image, a modern interpretation of Othello. On the right, we have Kenneth Branagh, and on the left, we have another famous actor. You might recognize him from other roles, like Morpheus from The Matrix. But yeah, that is Lawrence Fishburne playing Othello. So even 400 and some years later, Othello still endures. It's still being acted. So as you read this, consider how this play and this work is still relevant today. What is it about this play that we continue to look at and take from? What do modern audiences take from it? I can tell you some of the lasting and some of the enduring themes is that this play explores race, much as our society does. It's still I don't want to say issue, it's still a topic that comes up in our own society. Look at the treatment of race within Othello. I also want you to consider how gender and marriage is treated within Othello. So, looking at the marriage of Desdemona and Othello, how does that relate? How is it different from the past works we've read to how it relates to us now? I look forward to this. It's a work that is immensely popular. I look forward to this journey that we're going to go on and learn it together. And yeah, look forward to our discussions.